When did your mother-in-law humbled your husband? The attack happened fast. One moment I was apologizing to Marcus for misplacing his BMW keys, and a second later, his hands wrapped around my collarbone, slamming me into the sunroom's sliding doors until the glass groaned. His mother Eleanor stood 10 feet away, watering her orchids. Marcus had tortured me for 3 years, strictly in the shadows. As a prominent Boston surgeon, his reputation was pristine. He'd twist my fingers until the joints popped, then buy diamond rings to mask the swelling. He'd kick my shins under the table, then joke to friends about my anemia. Once, he locked me in our freezing basement for 12 hours, only to draw me a hot bath afterward. I became a master illusionist, wearing thick tights in July, blaming flinches on caffeine, smiling through brunches while my jaw throbbed. You convince yourself that his high-pressure job caused the outbursts. Survival demands self-deception. That Sunday morning, his mask slipped. We were at Eleanor's Brookline estate helping her pack for a move. Running on 2 hours of sleep and furious about a delayed flight, he lost control, pinning me against the glass with Eleanor staring right at us. She's too stupid to manage a keychain, he spat, as if that justified the violence. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for Eleanor's usual script. Whenever I had subtly brought up his temper before, she would brush it off, claiming, "Brilliant men lack patience, dear. You must be his calm harbor." She treated him like a living saint. I waited for her to tell me to look harder for the keys. Instead, Eleanor placed her copper watering can onto a mahogany side table. The metal clinked sharply in the silent room. She didn't look at Marcus. She walked straight up to me, her gray eyes scanning my terrified face. "Take off your scarf," she ordered. Her voice was unrecognizable. Not the warm society matron tone I knew, but a hollow, terrifying whisper. Marcus dropped his hands from my neck and laughed nervously. "Mom, relax. I just lost my balance." "The silk scarf. Now," Eleanor repeated. My fingers shook as I untied the floral fabric. Beneath it, a dark, mottled constellation of yellow and green fingerprints stained my throat from an argument we'd had on Tuesday night. Marcus took a step toward the doorway. "Mom, she bruises like a peach." She tripped taking the recycling out. Eleanor didn't flinch. She reached into her cardigan pocket, pulled out her phone, and dialed a number. But it wasn't the police. "Marcus," she said smoothly, putting the phone on speaker. "I am calling Charles at the hospital board." And then, my estate attorney. Marcus went pale. "Are you insane? You're going to destroy my career over a marital spat?" "I am erasing you," Eleanor replied coldly. "The man who touched a woman like that is not the child I birthed." When Charles picked up, Eleanor detailed exactly what she had just witnessed, demanding an immediate suspension pending an ethics review. Marcus lunged for the phone, but Eleanor raised a commanding hand, freezing him. "Take one more step, and the police will be my next call. Get out of my house." He scrambled out the front door, leaving his luggage behind. After his engine roared down the driveway, Eleanor sank into a floral armchair and covered her face. She didn't cry. She just breathed heavily, for what felt like hours. I stood frozen by the window. "I willfully ignored the signs," she finally whispered, looking at my bruised neck. "I saw you flinch when he grabbed the carving knife at Thanksgiving. I saw the way you apologized for things you didn't do. I chose my pride over your safety. You stopped him today," I managed to say. She stood up and walked toward a locked antique desk. "And I will ruin him tomorrow." Eleanor kept her word. She funded my exit strategy, transferring exactly $45,000 into a private account she opened in my name by 9 a.m. Monday. She stripped Marcus from her trust, leaving her entire estate to a local women's shelter. Marcus lost his surgical privileges and relocated to a rural clinic out of state to escape the scandal. He tried to visit her once, showing up on her porch on Christmas Eve. She didn't even open the door. She just turned the sprinkler system on and went back to drinking her tea.